Hi, welcome to Chez Les Fleur podcast, where we speak to women doing all sorts of wonderful things in business, whether they're the owners, whether they're second generation, whether they're in with a business partner or part of their family. They're breaking the glass ceiling, they're having fun, they're being inventive and innovative. If this is the first time you've joined our podcast, welcome. And if you're returning to our podcast, we're really glad to have you back. And today we're talking to Maria Hersey, and she is an illustrator and creates children's books and lives in Nova Scotia. So we're really glad that she's here and taking time from her busy family and busy life and has a few minutes to talk to us about what she's doing. So welcome, Maria. Thank you for joining us all the
Thank
way
you for
from the
having
East
me.
Coast where the sun has come out. You've had some weather this winter, so it must be good to see the sun.
Yeah, happy to have it today. Yeah.
Good. So you're a young mom, you have a young family, and you and your husband have a young family. And I think I already know the answer, but what drew you to children's books?
I have always been obsessed with children's books for as long as I can remember. My parents instilled a love of reading in myself and my sisters right from day one, and reading has always been my favorite activity. So it has naturally happened with my kids, and then it's really cool that I'm able to start creating them myself now, because reading and books are my favorite, like absolute favorite thing. So it's pretty cool to be doing this.
Well, yeah, and it's, it can books take you on such a magical ride that you can't describe it to people that don't read or choose not to read, I should say, choose not to read.
No,
So you tell me about do you have your books there?
I do. Yeah, I've got them all right here.
Okay. So what you illustrate them, and do you have an author partner or do you write some of them yourself?
So illustrated, in the works to both write extra ones. But I have had a good friend of mine who I have partnered with to write, and I've illustrated for two of them. And then one of them that just was released around Christmas time is with an author I've never met before. And then another that I'm working on right now is with another author that I don't know. But it's all through my friend's publishing company. So she's connecting me with all these people, all like relatively local within the Maritimes.
Excellent. Excellent. That's exciting. So, I mean, I know nothing about publishing a book or getting it to print, but my comprehension or my understanding is that finding a publisher is not that easy, or finding someone that will edit and publish. Tell us about that process.
So my experience with this is pretty unique because, like you say, it's hard to find a publisher. So I'm fortunate to have a friend, my friend Erin Norman, who runs Lazy Bear Publishing. She decided that she wanted to publish children's books, and she's a real like, go-getter, and so she just decided that she wanted to do it. So she started up this publishing company, and now has four books, with many more in the works, just in the last year and a half, 2 years. So it's really taking off. So it's been pretty cool to be able to start this process and build it on our own, with Erin's help there.
So, do you sell in local bookstores? Where do you sell your books?
Um,
Other,
we sell we sell online, through our website, and then we also sell at various local locations, farmers markets, Christmas craft fairs, markets, that kind of thing. Um, some local, we've actually got some other locations across the country that people have helped connect us to. Um, but yeah, a lot of online sales too.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, can we see your books?
Yeah. So I have Time for Bed. here is our first book. This one's really special. It's a lullaby, a children's lullaby. So we've actually at the back here written the sheet music, and we have the verses of the song with it that you can learn to sing. And this one's really cool because it has lots of different different themes throughout. So we have the ocean theme and the knight and the dragon and the construction site and the forest and the aliens on Mars. And then they all come together to wish the little boy good night. So I really love that one just because of the variety that's in it. And it was our first book, so I think it'll always have like a special place in my heart. And then we also have ABC Digby. And this one's probably my favorite because I'm super passionate about our local area here and just helping people find things to do, because there's so much to do in such a small rural town here. So this one is kind of like an adventure guide children's storybook. So it's really for all ages. And it goes through all like every letter is a different location or something that we have in our area. So like B is for Bear River, one of our local little communities here. Lots of different things in here. I am partial to this one here because it's my husband's boat in the middle there. So I really enjoy drawing and painting my family and stuff in here a lot. Like the lobsters and yeah, let's see. Like Maud Lewis's house, local artist.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then most recently, I have Riley the Runt, a story about a family who raises a pig and all of their adventures that they take with their pig. My favorite page is this one with the tea party.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's a really sweet story. And it's a true story based on the woman's daughter's experience with her grandparents. So it's really special to her.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm currently working on one that's a story about the author's experience with her mother and Alzheimer's, but it's written through the eyes of a puppy. And so it's a children's version of this really sad, heartbreaking, but very special story with her mother. So it's a really, really, really interesting experience. I'm really enjoying it.
And when is that set to be finished?
It's a very slow process. By the time, I'm just doing the illustrations now, hoping to have them done in the next month or so. And then by the time printing and it's a very intense editing process. And then printing and everything, I am expecting it'll be here for the fall, like expecting for Christmas sales.
So when it gets edited, is that like proofreading and
Yeah.
tell us about that. I really know very little about this as
Yeah,
much as
so from my end, what I do is I do the illustrations, I pass them to the publisher who scans, edits, tweaks them as she needs to, sends them back to me for revisions. And she's doing the same thing with the author at the same time. And then she compiles it all, she puts it all together, formats it, all of that. And then she sends it to print. And has a printing company print it. So I don't see too much of it, but I do help with the editing process. Like you say, like proofreading, that kind of thing. And then we have a lot of people that we send it through to, so it sees a lot of eyes before it goes to print.
yeah, it would have to.
Yeah.
Because even just if you proofread something you've done at work and your brain autocorrects it, and then when you see it in print, you go, oh my goodness, how did I miss that?
Yeah.
So it's
And like things you'd never think of, like, in my images, like the direction of the faces and things, just to draw attention to different places. And, it's really nice to get other people's opinions that all have different experience and, different education and stuff to see what they all have to say.
excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Oh, what else was I going to ask you? What, when you were growing up, you said you love children's books. What were two of your favorite children's books?
Ooh. Um, as a kid, my mind's kind of on Harry Potter lately, of course. My daughter's getting into that, so I'm really remembering how much I loved that. I loved Harry Potter. I would say that was probably my ultimate favorite book. Other children's books that I love. I'm like looking at the shelf, thinking of the shelf right behind me. Um, right now, I am loving Brianna Core Scott. That comes to mind. She's a local artist who does beautiful watercolor illustrations, kind of with a Nova Scotia maritime theme. So yeah, I'm thinking of right now, but she'd be one of my top ones right now.
Well, and I was going to say that, you certainly are walking the walk and talking the talk when you came on the podcast and you've got a whole background of books. So it's not, I guess it's not much of a leap for you because you enjoy literature and your family enjoys it. And I guess, the leap to creating some of that wasn't that hard.
Yeah, yeah, it's very natural. Yeah, books are a big part of our everyday.
Well, and they, like I say, they are pretty magical. So they can, they can take you on a trip. They can be your best friend. They can teach you things. They can teach you things you should be doing, and they can teach you things you shouldn't be doing. And it really, yeah, it's really a beautiful hobby. And I too was raised in a book family, so it's no surprise to me that you're in the book industry. So, good
Yeah,
on you.
thanks.
You also have a young family. You've got 4 children,
I do, yeah.
and they're all young but growing.
Yeah, yeah, they're what, 8 months to 4 and 6,
Good
almost.
for you.
Yeah.
So the 6-year-old has started school
Yeah, yeah, and the 4-year-old too, actually. Yeah, they
and they're
start pretty.
loving it.
They are. Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Well, I know that you're busy and I appreciate you taking time to be on our podcast. And I like to sort of finish off our sessions when I meet with people with some rapid fire questions. So if you're up for that, I've got
Sure.
some questions for you. Okay, good. Okay. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Fiction or non?
Fiction.
Pop or juice?
Coffee.
Okay. Drake or The Weekend?
The weekend.
Socks or slippers?
Slippers.
Excellent. Well, I wish you continued success in your book creating journey. And I've bought your first book, and I have seen your second one. My mother has a copy of it, and the I took one of the copies of your book over to my neighbors. They have 3 young girls, and gave it to them. So beautifully illustrated, great stories, and I think you're about to jettison into the stratosphere, I'm sure. And I love seeing what you're doing, and I appreciate that you took time to come and talk to us today, and give those kids a little snuggle for me, will you?
Oh, thank you so much. It was really nice to see you.
Well, it's good to see you too. If you're joining Chez Les Fleur podcast for the first time, we welcome you. If you've come back, isn't it great to hear what all these women in business are doing and how they're making things work and finding new paths? And it's a pretty exciting time for women in business. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.